I just really wanna say y'all niggas can't move how I move. Haters gotta take always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say y'all niggas can't move how I move. Haters gotta imitate what I do. All these bitches wanna cry on me. These niggas wanna lie on me. Switching up colors like they die on me. Tryna ride on me, you gon' die on me. That's the way it's gotta be. I want respect and loyalty. We rollin', we pick all the seats. We blowing green trips overseas. Mad at cheap, mad at Lincoln, love me on the beach. I'm trying to see some better scenes. We at the beach with better seats. We got receipts and recipes. And I'm with me. And I certainly wanna say y'all niggas
Back.
how I move. Haters,
I ain't playing no games, bro.
always trying to do
about to get this shit done.
really wanna say y'all niggas can't move
No games.
how I move. Haters, imitate, always trying to do what I do. You know my whip game pop, cause my car is too legit. You know my whip game pop, it's like some dick down to this bitch. You know my whip game proper, punch a nigga in the shit. You know my whip game proper, cause I do it with my wrist. You know my whip game proper, cause my car is too legit. You know my whip game proper, like some dick down to this bitch. You know my whip game proper, punch a nigga in the shit. You know my whip game proper, cause I do it with my wrist. Ladies know I set the mood, fiends know I got the juice. In Paris got a parachute, she open like a parachute. Deuce like a pair of tools, to lose off that green goose. Got no game for lame dudes and whip it all like Jesus. I just really wanna say y'all niggas can't move how I move. Haters gotta imitate, always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say y'all niggas can't move how I move. Haters gotta imitate, always trying to do what I do.
Wendy, we back at it.
I just really wanna say your niggas can't move how I move. Haters goddamn they always tryna do what I do. I just really
Yeah, I think this might be the final version right here, guys. I hear a dog out there. He is not happy.
I just really wanna say y'all niggas can't move how I move. Haters gotta imitate, always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say y'all niggas can't move how I move. Haters gotta imitate, always trying to do what I do. All these bitches wanna cry on me. These niggas wanna lie on me. Switching up colors like they die on me. Tryna ride on me, you gon' die on me. That's the way it's gotta be. I want respect and loyalty. We rollin', we pick all the seats. We blowing green trips overseas. Medellin, Medellin, Colombia, on the coffee beans. I'm trying to see some better scenes. We at the beach with better seats. We got receipts and recipes, and I'm whip it mean. And I serve it to the streets, no chatter for these SOBs. Wanna say y'all niggas can't move how I move. Haters gotta imitate, always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say y'all niggas can't move how I move. Haters gotta imitate, always trying to do what I do. You know my whip game pop, cause my car is too legit. You know my whip game proper, slang some dick down to this bitch. You know my whip game proper, punch a nigga in the shit. You know my whip game proper, cause I do it with my wrist. You know my whip game proper, cause my car is too legit. You know my whip game proper, slang some dick down to this bitch. You know my whip game proper, punch a nigga in the shit. You know my whip game proper, cause I do it with my wrist. Ladies know I set the mood, fiends know I got the juice. And Paris got a parachute, she open like a parachute. Loose like a pair of tools, to lose off that gray goose. Got no game for lame dudes and whip it hard like Jesus. I just really wanna say y'all niggas can't move how I move. Haters gotta imitate, always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say y'all niggas can't move how I move. Haters gotta imitate, always trying to do what I do.
Listen to it a couple more times. We're gonna put something else on. Gotta burn it up. Burn it up.
I just really wanna say y'all niggas can't move how I move. Haters gotta imitate, always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say y'all niggas can't move how I move. Haters gotta imitate, always trying to do what I do. All these bitches wanna cry on me. These niggas wanna lie on me. Switching up colors like they die on me. Tryna ride on me, you gon' die on me. That's the way it's gotta be. I want respect and loyalty. We rollin', we pick overseas. We blowing green trips overseas. Medellin, Medellin, Colombia, on the coffee beans. I'm trying to see some better scenes. We at the beach with better seats. We got receipts and recipes. And I'm whip it mean. And I serve it to the streets. No chatter for these SOBs. Wanna say y'all niggas can't move how I move. Haters gotta imitate, always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say y'all niggas can't move how I move. Haters gotta imitate, always trying to do what I do. You know my whip game proper, cause my car is too legit. You know my whip game proper, slang some dick down to this bitch. You know my whip game proper, punch a nigga in the shit. You know my whip game proper, cause I do it with my wrist. You know my whip game proper, cause my car is too legit. You know my whip game proper, slang some dick down to this bitch. You know my whip game proper, punch a nigga in the shit. You know my whip game proper, cause I do it with my wrist. Ladies know I set the mood, fiends know I got the juice. And Paris got a parachute, she open like a parachute. Loose like a pair of tools, to lose off that gray goose. Got no game for lame dudes and whip it hard like Jesus. I just really wanna say y'all niggas can't move how I move. Haters gotta imitate, always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say
like I just was it's that little. I love how that shit come in.
I just really wanna say, young niggas can't move how I move. Haters goddamn, always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say, young niggas can't move how I move. Haters goddamn, always trying to do what I do. All these bitches wanna crown me. These niggas wanna allow me. Switching up colors like they down me. You try to ride on me, you gon' down me. That's the way it's gotta be. I want respect and loyalty. We rollin' weed, pick overseas. We blowin' green, trips overseas. The Medici and Medellin, Colombia, coffee beans. I'm tryna see some better scenes. We at the beach with better scenes. We got receipts and recipes, and I whip it mean. Then I serve it to the streets. No chat for these SOBs. You know my whip game proper, cause my car's too legit. You know my whip game proper, slay some dick out to this bitch. You know my whip game proper, punch a nigga in the shit. You know my whip game proper, cause I do it with my wrist. You know my whip game proper, cause my car's too legit. You know my whip game proper, slay some dick out to this bitch. You know my whip game proper, punch a nigga in the shit. You know my whip game proper, cause I do it with my wrist. Ladies know, I set the mood. Fiends know, I got the juice. In Paris, got a pair of shoes. She open like a parachute. Deuce, like a pair of twos. Too loose, off that Grey Goose. Got no game for lame dudes. And whip it hard like Jesus. I just really wanna say, young niggas can't move how I move. Haters goddamn, always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say, young niggas can't move how I move. Haters goddamn, always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say, young niggas can't move how I move. Haters goddamn, always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say, young niggas can't move how I move. Haters goddamn, always trying to do what I do. These niggas wanna allow me. Switch it down me. You try to ride on me, you gon' down me. That's the way it's gotta be. I want respect and loyalty. We rollin' weed, pick overseas. We blowin' green, trips overseas. The Medici and Medellin, Colombia, coffee beans. I'm tryna see some better scenes. We at the beach with better scenes. We got receipts and recipes, and I whip it mean. Then I serve it to the streets. No chat for these SOBs. You know my whip game proper, cause my car's too legit. You know my whip game proper, slay some dick dick out to this bitch. You know my whip came proper. Punch a nigga in the shit. You know my whip came proper. Cause I do it with my wrist. You know my whip came proper. Cause my car's too legit. You know my whip came proper. Slice some dick out to this bitch. You know my whip came proper. Punch a nigga in the shit. You know my whip came proper. Cause I do it with my wrist. Ladies know, I set the mood. Fiends know, I got the juice. In Paris, got a pair of shoes. She open like a parachute. Deuce, like a pair of twos. Too loose, off that Grey Goose. Got no game for lame dudes. The whip it hard like Jesus. I just really wanna say, your niggas can't move how I move. Haters got they always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say, your niggas can't move how I move. Haters they always trying to do what I do.
Oh boy. I still don't feel like talking to this dude, bro. Hello? What's up?
Feeling sober.
Huh? I can't hear you. What do you say?
I said, what's up, sober? I said, I'm sober. What's up?
You're not sober. What the hell?
What the hell? What the hell?
This motherfucker high as shit talking about I'm feeling sober. Bruh. I don't know. What?
What's going on? I'm sorry. Jesus. I'm joking. I'm too hot to be doing anything.
What do you mean doing anything? You should be sitting in a nice cool room somewhere, relaxing your body.
No.
What you doing out in the heat?
What the hell? What the hell? Goddamn right. She wasn't playing. Look what made this goddamn. And they talking about this just the beginning of the summertime? No.
Hey, cuz I'm doing some stuff right now, man. Let me hit you back later.
Alright, you good, Tyler?
I'm always good, bro. I'm always good. All right, I love you. I'll talk to you later on, man. This nigga don't never have nothing to do. Bro, find something to occupy your time. And then you want to talk with nothing to talk about. That's the only thing that we trip about because of that, yo. Because, you know, me and my homegirl, man, we was on the phone for like 2 hours the other day. But we had shit to talk about. We was talking about good, good conversations, yo. And my homie, he called me yesterday. We talked about 25, 30 minutes. But when my cousin called, like, nigga, you have anything to talk about? How you doing? Good, feeling sober. Nigga, you sound yo, you sound high as hell talking about feeling sober. No, you're not. Why would you even say that? Like, I mean, this boy is fried. I swear, his whole brain is fried. Yo, I think he's like on a permanent trip. You know, one of them bad trips that motherfuckers don't ever come off of. I think he like that. He try to maintain for a little while, but he'd be tripping balls. I think his mind is just always clicking, yo. This nigga mind, it ain't never getting into gear. That shit just clicking instead of connecting. He don't fry himself, bro. That motherfucker is fried like hell. And I swear on everything I love, there ain't nothing I can do about it. I done talked to him blue in the face. And I'm tired of trying to encourage somebody and motivate somebody who don't want to be encouraged or motivated. So I ain't got nothing but words to offer. And I done said all my words. So yeah, that motherfucker just love to talk, man. I told her the only reason you call me so much because I answer sometimes. Yeah, everybody else must be really stop answering your phone calls, bro. Because I be hard on your ass when you call me, and you still be calling. You just want to hear me be hard on you. I don't know what else you want. I ain't got, like I say, I ain't got too much more to say other than you need to get your shit together. You need to get your shit together. You need to get your shit together. I'll be like a broken record. I don't care what you want to talk about. Only thing I want to talk about is you getting your shit together. You gonna go to rehab? You gonna try to do it cold turkey? Something? You gonna get your shit together and stop worrying about other people, worrying about celebrities and all this other shit, man. You can worry about everything in the goddamn world except getting your shit together. It's good Samaritan, man. Mm. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can lead a man to knowledge, but you can't make him think.
I just really wanna say, young niggas can't move how I move. Haters goddamn way, always tryna do what I do. I just really wanna say, young niggas bitches wanna crown me. These niggas wanna allow me. Switching up colors like they down me. You try to ride on me, you gon' down me. That's the way it's gotta be. I want respect and loyalty. We rollin' weed, pick overseas. We blowin' green, trips overseas. The Medici in Medellin, Colombia, coffee beans. I'm tryna see some better scenes. We at the beach with better scenes. We got receipts and recipes, and I whip it mean. Then I serve it to the streets. No chatter for these SOBs. You know my whip game proper. Cause my car's too legit. You know my whip game proper. Slay some dick out to this bitch. You know my whip game proper. Punch a nigga in the shit. You know my whip game proper. Cause I do it with my wrist. You know my whip game proper. Cause my car's too legit. You know my whip game proper. Slay some dick out to this bitch. You know my whip game proper. Punch a nigga in the shit. You know my whip game proper. Cause I do it with my wrist. Ladies know I set the mood. Fiends know I got the juice. In Paris, got a pair of shoes. She open like a parachute. Deuce, like a pair of twos. Too loose, off that Grey Goose. Got no game for lame dudes. And whip it hard like Jesus. I just really wanna say, young niggas can't move how I move. Haters got always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say, young niggas can't move how I move. Haters got always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say, young niggas can't move how I move. Haters got always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say, young niggas can't move how I move. Haters got always trying to do what I do. All these bitches wanna crown me. These niggas wanna allow me. Switching up colors like they down me. You try to ride on me, you gon' down me. That's the way it's gotta be. I want respect and loyalty. We rollin' weed, pick overseas. We blowin' green, trips overseas. The Medici in Medellin, Colombia, coffee beans. I'm tryna see some better scenes. We at the beach with better scenes. We got receipts and recipes, and I whip it mean. Then I serve it to the streets. No chatter for these SOBs. You know my whip game proper. Cause my car's too legit. You know my whip game proper. Slay some dick out to this bitch. You know my whip game proper. Punch a nigga in the shit. You know my whip game proper. Cause I do it with my wrist. You know my whip game proper. Cause my car's too legit. You know my whip game proper. Slay some dick out to this bitch. You know my whip game proper. Punch a nigga in the shit. You know my whip game proper. Cause I do it with my wrist. Ladies know I set the mood. Fiends know I got the juice. In Paris, got a pair of shoes. She open like a parachute. Deuce, like a pair of twos. Too loose, off that Grey Goose. Got no game for lame dudes. And whip it hard like Jesus. I just really wanna say, your niggas can't move how I move. Haters got they always trying to do what I do. I just really wanna say, your niggas can't move how I move. Haters got they always trying to do what I do.
Yeah, we give it a break for it.
I just really want.
Until now, game changer. They have a wire trimming head that's universal. It's going to fit any weed eater. They have different size leads on it. They have a 3 and a 6. I went with the 6 because I'm never changing a weed eater string.
I don't know the specific question. The question is about,
Specifics are important.
the question is about the,
You're making an accusation that I didn't ask something, but you don't have the thing that you would have liked me to ask. Here's a good moment for accountability. Do you think it was fair to present that economic policy question to me about Trump, not really knowing what you're talking about?
now he's in comedian mode,
No,
now
never.
he's in public commentator mode, like how,
Always treat me as a comedian.
always treat you as a
Yeah,
comedian.
don't, because I've never asked you to treat me any other way.
Yeah, but you're talking seriously now.
You are making me serious, but I'm a comedian. To me, I'm always a comedian. You guys are deciding that I'm not. I have to be funny every second to be a comedian? You are funny. Do you
Yeah.
stop being a journalist? Why is it when I'm asking a serious question, I stop being a comedian?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to take a look at Andrew Schulz, who was interviewed by the New York Post, and host David, of course, a very left-leaning Post, really showed his hypocrisy in this interview. Let's get to the first bits of the video.
None of them came on, and Republicans made appearances on the podcast more, and they called us not Bernie Bros, the podcast bros, and they said we're sexist, bigoted, and racist.
Who is they in this example?
That's a good question. I should give you like an exact answer, but I think there was like,
Yeah, I just wonder if this is a straw man.
yeah, that
After the fact,
created.
concocted,
Oh,
yeah.
maybe the question I would ask is, do you think that that was an unfair representation?
Of
That
you guys?
there are certain media figures labeling the manosphere and the
Yeah.
podcast bros that way?
And I think that's right. Yeah.
So you have heard that.
Yes.
So who
Yeah.
would they be for you?
The media.
Well, that's
Certain-
what I just said.
No, you
So,
said they.
Yeah.
I said something specific.
do you think that yours is more specific?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Commentators.
I fear if I said the media, you would have been who specifically? You would have said the same thing. I feel like your answer is just as big. And I'm not trying to bull you into position. What I'm trying to expose is that I don't think that I was like pinpointed enough on my accusation. And
Yeah.
it is a kind of big accusation, but I'm glad that you agree.
No, it's just it's interesting
Yeah.
when people have a perception that somehow they're being sort of attacked or labeled. The inclination for me is to wonder, like, well,
I don't-
is that happening? And I think in your case,
I don't think it's nefarious intent, by the way. I think that like when you talk for 2 or 3 hours on a podcast every week, you can take excerpts from it and make me look ridiculous.
yeah,
You can make me look however you want. You can make me look like the sweetest, kindest, like loving dad. You can make me look like an absolute tyrant. We talk for 6 hours total a week on a podcast. A
Yeah.
30-second excerpt, you can do whatever you want. And that's the cost that we have to take on for putting out content. We can't complain about that. It's more just like oftentimes getting labeled a certain thing, and then everybody kind of, not everybody, but seeming like culture maybe catching up or coming around to it. And there doesn't seem to be much accountability. Maybe we shouldn't have said those things about those guys for calling Biden old. Now that we're all saying that we covered up the fact that he maybe wasn't actually the president. So then I'm in this situation where I'm like, I shouldn't make a big deal about this because that's selfish. What I should do is just be like, hey, it's cool that we're all agreeing on something, and I shouldn't punish you for agreeing.
It's still crazy to me that the leftist media can listen to a full podcast of quote unquote comedians. That's who's on Flagrant, Andrew Schultz's podcast, and take everything literally. Now we're gonna get to the next bit where they talk about his interview that he scored with Donald Trump on the Flagrant podcast. And listen, it is still insane to me that he got to interview Donald Trump, but this was the big mistake that the left didn't do. And of course, it's because their positions on a lot of topics, these 80-20 topics that we talk about, were indefensible. So she couldn't go, Kamala, on these podcasts and talk about them. She had to have cookie cutter, pre-scripted answers to given questions to the leftist media. There was no way she was going to do Rogan, Andrew Schultz, Theo Vaughn, any of these podcasters. That's why the media started to attack them. Let's get to the next clip.
For people who didn't see it, what were those few things?
Protecting IVF. My wife and I had a baby through IVF, and it was really important to me that he would, do something to make sure that was protected, especially with the abortion bans. And he specifically said that he would, and the federal government would make sure that it was protected. Let's see if that actually happens. If there's federal, support for people that are going through it, like that was crucial for me. For me, it was, empathy for illegals that are here, that are not breaking the law, that have been working here in a pathway to citizenship, which it doesn't look like has been happening. This is very disheartening for me. And then end to the foreign wars. I think it's really hard for Americans specifically to be struggling so much. And then the perception of all this money leaving the country to go fight these wars in places that we'll never go visit. I think that's hard for Americans, really difficult. And you start to feel like you're left out. So yeah, those are the three things that I really want to talk to about. And I did. But what's interesting about that interview is that the second it came out, the Kamala campaign and the Trump campaign were posting the same clips of the interview.
Yeah.
It was lauded by both parties. It was really interesting. And it really just exposes that life's a Rorschach test.
So, you had these three things you wanted to ask Donald Trump. And, so that also means, you didn't ask about, you didn't really ask that much about economic policy, right? Which for a Bernie supporter, I thought oh, that's weird that, it's like, I think you told Bernie it broke your heart when Bernie endorsed Hillary Clinton in 2016. I thought, oh, it's strange that he's not asking Donald Trump about pointed questions about economics.
What did I ask Bernie about economics?
Well, you guys talked a lot about economic inequality.
But what about policy?
It's an issue that matters to you.
What
Andrew,
would you like me
Andrew,
to ask?
I don't know the specific question. The question is about
Specifics are important.
the question is about the
You're making an accusation that I didn't ask something, but you don't have the thing that you would have liked me to ask. Here's a good moment for accountability. Do you think it was fair to present that economic policy question to me about Trump, not really knowing what you're talking about?
I asked you a question.
Okay.
That's where it feels
Gotcha.
It doesn't feel gotcha.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't tell you how you feel.
feel.
No, this is good. We're both. Oh, this is good. Therapy's good. This is good. Okay, this is. I love that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But that's where I felt like it was gotcha. I don't know if that's your intent right there at all. I can't put anything on intent. But I felt gotcha because I asked you what would you like me, and you didn't have an example, and then you brought up the Bernie as a thing to. I have to add more weight to your thing, and then there wasn't any combo about that, and it just felt like, in that moment, what I felt like is, oh, he's trying to point me out as doing something inadequate in this interview, but the only goal of his question was to expose inadequacy, not to actually learn something.
Right.
That's what. So to me, that felt like gotcha. Actually, gotcha is not a feeling.
Gotcha's not a feeling.
It puts the blame on you. So that's what I was talking about. Feelings. I got to get better at. I felt I'll figure it out. I'll talk to my therapist about it. I'm working on it, Dave.
Wait, let me try and come up with a different one then.
Here's the thing, right? It's not Andrew Schultz's job as a comedian. Joe Rogan, for that matter, they're not journalists. They get these guys on the. Theo Von is probably the best at this. He gets politicians on his podcast, left or right, makes them feel comfortable. They have a good laugh. That's what the podcast is about. Getting to know the personality of the person. Maybe he asks a few policy questions, a few more quote unquote hard-hitting questions, but it's not a deep dive into politics when they go on these podcasts. They're comedy podcasts. That's not what they're meant for. For one, they're an entertainment podcast, but it's the idea that in 2025, 2024, and going forward, you have to be able to have a long form, unedited conversation so people can know who you are as a person with or without talking policy. And Trump was great at this, like the guy or not. He went on all these podcasts, he talked, he answered the question, he joked around. You can see it as a real human being with real world policies that suit day to day Mr. and Mrs. Middle Class America. Again, we talk about these 80-20 issues. Let's get back to the video.
So you and your wife went through the IVF process to have your child, and that's why IVF was an important subject for you to bring up with Donald Trump. And then when you're having that conversation with him, you say at the end, you said, I think it's. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not going to get exactly right. Something like, I think it's important for women moderates to hear that.
I don't recall saying that. You might be right. I just don't recall. Oh, was I saying like women who might be on the fence about who you are as like a person and like how much you care about their bodies and their ability to make choices with their bodies?
Right. But then this is not.
How did it make you feel? What do you think it was like trying to like promote him or something like that to them?
It made me feel confused. Because there was then also no mention or suggestion of the fact that Donald Trump was like credibly accused of groping a bunch of women, or that he was found liable in a civil suit for sexual abuse. And so like why it's like one thing important to hear and not another. That's an example where I thought like, oh, this something about the balance or frame here feels strange to me.
Well, I think it's a fair question. The reaction I would have is like, what is less known? I don't think that there's a person on the planet that doesn't know that Donald Trump was like, you grab my pussy. I don't think there's a person on the planet that doesn't know about the civil suit. People have done a pretty good job of getting that information out there. Might not be is what people might not know is that he really wants to fight to protect IVF, and that might be really important for a woman who goes, I know all this horrible stuff that this guy has been accused of or convicted of doing, but the most important decision for me right now is I want to have a family and I want assistance in that. I want support in that. And unfortunately, in elections, we look past certain like transgressions because there are certain things that are more important to us. So if you're a trans person, I totally understand. If you're like, I can't vote for that guy. It doesn't look like he's going to allow me to live the life that I want to live and live that life freely. She or he has to go to the other option because that's the one thing that's most important to their life. So I think by your standard, you wish that I brought up the things that he had done in referencing that.
To make the conversation feel more balanced. Yeah.
To make it feel more balanced. Okay. I don't think that that's unfair. I guess what I would say is that like, as an interviewer, I would be like, am I bringing that up for the person that hates Trump so that they're disarmed? Or am I doing this interview for the audience, not for what I authentically want to ask him? Like, there's even a part of me that wonders as you ask me these questions, like, do you feel like you have to put some pressure on me with the Trump thing? Because your audience might be like, why didn't you ask me about having Trump on? Or do you genuinely want to do it?
It's both.
And that's an honest, fair question. And like, I go through that too, where I'm like, what do I really want to know? What do I really want to ask this person? And what do I feel like I should, or else I'll be criticized for not like when I had Bernie on, like should I have asked him about taking the private jets? Should I have asked him about having 3 houses? Like I saw all that, right? And I'm not equating this to like Donald Trump being like convicted of things, but still like brought those things up and appeased certain people that are definitely in my audience. But the cost of that is, am I doing it just to appease them? One, and does it make him clam up and then not open up about these other things that I really want to know?
I think it's hypocritical to come at Andrew Schultz that way. I'm not like a huge Andrew Schultz fan, but it's the leftist media that caused all this problem. Now they're talking to Andrew Schultz about, oh, you got to ask hard-hitting questions. Listen, the media, okay, left or right, I'll include Fox in this. It's their job to get these people on and ask them real questions. What the left media did is simply get questions sent to them by Kamala's team when that was going on. They asked them the questions that Kamala wanted to get asked, and she answered the way she always did. I was a young girl from a middle-class home, blah, 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 same regurgitated, pre-rehearsed response. It was their job to do that, media, journalists. It's not Andrew Schultz, comedian's job. It's not Joe Rogan's job to push back on anything. They can if they want to, but that's not their podcast. They have guests on, they make them feel comfortable. It's not a political podcast. Maybe I'm wrong here saying this, but I don't think whether you get Trump or Kamala, left or right, and it's not on a comedy podcast. Just get to know the person. Just ask some real world questions. You should be asking about policies, in my opinion. I would like that, but it's not their job. That's not what it's there for. So when it doesn't happen, it's fine. Let's get back to it.
Here's something I am, this falls under the category of things I am legitimately curious
Yeah,
about.
sure.
So in your,
The other stuff, no curiosity.
so in your stand-up and, on the podcast or appearances on other podcasts, there are some, you call them slurs that you use.
Sure.
And I'm thinking of one in particular, starts with R, commonly used to describe intellectually disabled people.
Yeah.
Retarded.
You
sound
use,
retarded
I
trying
think in
to
the first
answer the
minute
question.
of Infamous, use a derogatory term for Mexicans.
Which one? Oh, yeah. But to the Mexican.
Right. Yeah. But there are other ones. But then there are other.
It's in a compliment. I think it's important to like contextualize.
Oh yes, I'd also like to say the thing that is I think it's important to note with your stuff is that it means spirit. But then there are other terms that you don't go near.
Which?
Like I've never heard you use a derogatory word for a Jewish person. Or
Really? I blame Jews for homosexuality in LA especially.
Yeah, but that's
No, homophobia.
But you don't use the derogatory word.
Which one are you talking about? The K one?
Well, yeah, that would be the one.
Yeah.
That would be the one.
Yeah.
But how do
Yeah,
you
it's not
decide?
really part of my.
But how do you decide
Yeah.
which ones
Well, we
feel
make
okay,
jokes.
which ones don't?
We'll call them like the small hats. Yeah.
But
I think in reality, people are trying to protect. They're trying to protect people.
yeah,
And the protection of people, I think, is like a beautiful, benevolent thing. And I think it's a great thing to endeavor to do. But sometimes it goes to the point where we're making words harmful that aren't harmful. Okay, so for example, like Latinx, which I'm sure you've heard this term, Latinx. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think of that term?
what do I think?
Yeah.
Hard question. What
When
do I
something-
think of the term?
What's
So to me it feels like
Have you heard of a fire retardant?
yeah.
How do you feel about that word?
The fire retardant. Retardant in that context means to slow something down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And should we make a different word for that?
But
At a
it's
certain
not.
point
But
in
a fire
time,
retardant is not a human being.
Well, no, but the root word
yeah.
has a scientific definition
Right.
that we have then labeled an emotional, painful pejorative
Yeah.
that to remove that label.
Yeah.
And I think that it's mainly labeled by people who are not dealing with mental
Yeah.
illness. I think it's people who want to, often like parents, who want to protect people who have these mental disabilities. So we're we're doing this thing, which it is beautiful at its core, which is to protect the people who may not be able to protect themselves, but we don't truly know if they are hurt by that. Now, if a parent ever said, hey, that word hurts me, and I want you to say it, I'm never going to say it in front of them. I don't want to hurt you. That's not my goal.
Yeah.
But they're like, and I don't want you to ever say it again in your life. They're like, that's not going to happen. I'll never say it around you because I just don't want to hurt you. I want to have fun. I want you to enjoy it. But you can't dictate what I do or don't say. But the reality is, like, there's always going to be somebody offended by a word or opinion or whatever you say. So at a certain point in time, like, what do? You just curtail how you speak completely so that you don't offend people, or do you just have your constitution and understand who you are as a person, and you go on living life and accept the blowback that comes with that?
Now, in the next bit, they're going to talk about men, the manosphere, and how the left has lost the male vote. And David, the host, is going to ask Andrew why he thinks that they've had such a hard time relating to men or connecting with men or getting the male vote. When you demonize men for a whole decade, that tends to happen. If you don't mind, smash that thumbs up button for your boy, guys. And if you're not yet subscribed, and if it's not your first time here, consider subscribing to the channel. Maybe this could be the video that earned your subscription. Let's get back to the interview.
There's like a manosphere podcast world that appeals to sort of young men in particular, and it has a lot to do with ideas of masculinity. And even though none of these shows and when I say these shows, I'm thinking of like Flagrant or Theo Von or Joe Rogan's show, where these shows are certainly not seen as progressive. Why do you think that there is some idea of validity that progressives or the left has not been able to talk to?
Why do you think?
Andrew, it's very hard for me to come up with answers to questions like that. Because
it's a tough question. I think you have a thoughtful answer.
I think there are less complicated ideas of masculinity that are often put forward on the shows that are sort of more approachable and maybe more familiar to a lot of men. It's just like an easier thing to latch onto. They're like, oh yeah, I like saying off-color shit with my buddies, or like I'm interested in
do you like saying off-color shit with your buddies?
Yeah.
You do. It was fun.
Yeah.
And it doesn't define you as a person.
No.
And you feel comfortable saying it with your buddies because they know who you are.
But I got away from my question. Why do you think the left has had a hard time?
I don't think it's
reaching.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think it's the nature of media a little bit. When Joe is bringing somebody on, he's only bringing them on to ask him things that he's curious about.
Yeah.
He's not going, I have to ask him these questions to make sure the interview's balanced so that my audience doesn't think that I was doing a puff beat, whatever. So what I think is people prefer in general more genuine conversations, which is more curiosity-based conversations.
As an owner of Walton Goggins goggle glasses, I know how to make slick-looking goggle/glasses, but I have no idea how to make slick social media style stuff to sell it. But GoDaddy Hero uses AI not only to create social content out of thin air, it can build a whole social media calendar just for my business. So all I had to do was upload a video of me and my pretty face, and voila. Walton Goggins goggle glasses are great gifts for all guys and gals. Try saying that 10 times fast. Look like you know what you're doing at GoDaddy.com.
Turn your musical masterpiece into money. Start selling your digital creations on Shopify.
Of how I feel about you, and I'm going to prove to my audience that I'm right the way I feel about you. And I think what happens to that is, your audience that agrees with you will like it, but you can't bring everybody in. And so I think this is one part of it. I also think that the ability to kind of like speak freely, how you said before, what was it, when you're with your friends, you just kind of busting balls,
Yeah.
whatever the term is, which we all do.
Yeah.
And saying maybe some of those no words that we don't say here, and we, say, oh, we shouldn't say, but once we're with our friends, all of a sudden they're fine to say. So once you see conversations on a podcast that way more similarly reflect your life, they're not trying to push a specific agenda. Now that you could make the argument that agendas are being pushed, by the way, so I would even like caveat that thing. But to me, it's not surprising, and it happens on girl podcasts. They go fucking crazy, these girl podcasts as well. So it's not just, oh, manosphere. There's immense curiosity in like authentic, genuine things. The New York Times is never going to do a "Get Ready with Me" video.
I'm sure someone in this building has put
They
thought into
pitched it, but you guys are probably
It
like,
might
that's
happen.
beneath us.
It
We
might
don't get
happen. I
ready.
don't know.
It's
I
like,
don't
well,
know.
you better fucking get ready. Because these girls are doing it on TikTok and they're getting millions of people to watch. So I think there's just been a shift towards more relatability. And I think that guys are definitely feeling more relatability on the guy pods.
Yeah.
And then I think the girls are feeling more relatability on the girl pods. So to me, it's just, and corporate media needs to, and I feel like it's already happening, like this conversation is like a version of that, where it's like they just need to make the adjustment to the new marketplace. And before, when it's, the Times is competing with who else, CBS or the Post or these type of things, like you're all competing within the same rules. And then podcasts came in and threw out the rules. But the point was actually that that the people haven't shifted. We have these conversations all the time, like you were saying earlier, like white males went to the right. And it's like, I think a better way to look at it is have parties shifted. Like,
I think that's
we have no
correct.
problem saying that Trump completely changed the Republican Party. Like, it looks nothing like the party of 10 years ago. Right. Like, he completely transformed it. You can make the argument that, like, Bernie is transforming the Democratic Party. So we know the parties change. And I think people kind of stay in their areas and parties shift. And sometimes they can shift and grab more people. So that was the conversation I was trying to say. It's not people running away. It's
Cheese fingers.
parties running away.
The
Who gets laid more, bro? It's just so, like, I saw it started to go viral. I'm like, do I have to fucking address it? Like,
yeah.
oh God. It was like every pundit did something about it, like just or whatever. I'm responsible. I shouldn't have said it like that.
Yeah.
I should have found a way to make the point that wasn't so easily refutable. So that's on me.
When you said a second ago, you're a comedian, you're on a podcast with other comedians.
Yeah.
Do you think there's, something just like slightly disingenuous about that? Because the same,
I know the argument in there,
yeah.
where it's just like we're using that as like a get out of jail free
Well,
card.
it's like really, when is somebody supposed to, who's watching or listening, they're supposed to minute to minute of the conversation be like, oh, now he's in comedian mode,
No,
now
never.
he's in public commentator mode. Like, how
Always treat me as a comedian.
always treat you as a
Yeah,
comedian?
don't, because I've never asked you to treat me any other way.
Yeah, but
You
you're talking
guys-
seriously now.
You are making me serious, but I'm a comedian. To me, I'm always a comedian. You guys are deciding that I'm not. Be funny every second to be a comedian? Or funny, do you
Yeah.
stop being a journalist? So then why is it when I'm asking a serious question, I stop being a comedian?
Right,
You
so,
are-
but when you say the serious thing,
Yeah, go,
like,
go,
when you
go.
say the serious thing, does that then mean the to the serious thing be sort of defended just by saying, no, I was a comedian?
When have I done that? I've heard this criticism about podcasters, but when have I said,
Oh shit. Oh yeah, this is nice. It's a good feeling. Just gotta see
Reaction of like.
No, but when you're
Yeah.
when you're saying that no, I'm not saying I'm a political pundit. I'm just a comedian. That is your version of saying, it's not up to me to answer these questions about things I've said.
That's not true. What question have I avoided?
I think you understand the point I'm trying to make, and
This is
because my semantics are
No, it's
not
not the
working.
semantics. You have an opinion about me, and you're not willing to wiggle away from it. But you don't realize that I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
So what I just did before, when you brought up the baby mamas and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Democrats thing, is the last thing I said was, I have to be better at what I communicate,
Yeah.
because I ultimately bear the consequences of that communication, whether I'm joking or not. I would love if I was afforded like a modicum of intelligence in the way that people interpret.
All right. I need to edit this picture down and post it on social media. I'm gonna go downstairs to do that. It is a little warm up here right now. Appreciate y'all for joining me on this second stream, the completion stream. Like I say, it's weird after I'm looking at it like this, but when I start looking at the pictures real close before I post it, sometimes I notice things that I miss. And I may go back and change some things. It looks pretty good right now though. But thanks again, guys. I might game for a little bit longer. I might not. I don't know. I might listen to some music or read or do something else. Oh shit. Let me clean these brushes out. If I was about to forget that. All right, tomorrow we need to at least get a sketch on canvas. We're gonna decide which one of these images from that last foot, the foot photo shoot I did with the candy. I'm gonna have to figure that out, see which one of those I'm gonna actually use, and then we'll get that onto a canvas, and then, like I say, we'll get ourselves ready for underpainting. All right, I think that's it. Turn the speaker off. All right, guys. If I don't get back online today, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I hope you have a good evening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. We're out of here.